two, one.
Doo-doo-doo-doo.
Boom.
Doo-doo-doo-doo. There we go. Mr. Producer. I think we're live now, Harry. Welcome back. Oh, and we got the people flooding in the gates. Fantastic. Look, they see as soon as they see the go live button, they all fall out of their seats. Oh my god, we're live. Start clicking on the. Oh, shh. There we go. We're live. We're live. All right, Harry. Well, welcome back. The people. This is what they've been waiting for all week. They typically have the Monday. What's it called? The Monday Blues or the Monday Scaries?
Yeah, Monday Blues.
Yeah, the Monday Blues. They're typically all depressed, taking their what are the pills that you take for depression? What are they called?
SSRIs.
Yeah, they're all popping their SSRIs. They're all depressed for the week moving forward. And then we came and we saved them with this podcast every single Monday at noon. Give them something excited about for the week. So now they wake up all excited on Mondays because they know, Naeem. Welcome, Harry. They're all excited. They're all excited for the week now, which is fantastic. So, what's going on, Bees? How you doing, player?
Good, brother. Yeah, I mean, I think I used to wake up like that on Mondays. So I think first off, if you guys are in a position with work right now where, you wake up on Monday and you're kind of dreading the week ahead and you're just counting down the days till Friday comes around again, you got to change something. So, I used to be in the same cycle, Monday morning, wake up anxious, stressed out, dreading what was coming. And I realized I needed to make a change because I didn't want to live the next 40 years in that cycle. So it's exhausting. And, it's a good way to keep yourself in the same position for a long period of time because you're just too miserable to even get out of it. So if you guys are still young enough to where, you don't have dependents, you don't have a lot of things hanging over your head, you don't have a ton of debts and obligations where you can't go a week without a paycheck or 2 weeks without a paycheck, take advantage of this time and break out of the cycle before it's too late. Because a lot of people wait around and they wake up one day and they're trapped. They got 2, 3 kids, they got a mortgage balance, they got 2 vehicle loans, they got student loans. They got cell phone bills, utility bills, all kinds of stuff hanging over their head. And they're stuck in that job that they wake up every Monday and they're miserable.
Yeah.
So, take advantage of this time when you still have the opportunity to get out.
We were making a joke basically saying, yeah, you're depressed on Monday, but what you just said is so true because I guarantee 99% of the people that are watching this stream right now are going to watch the stream or trying to get out of that lifestyle. That's why they're interested in crypto. That's why they're interested in these markets. The reason that people like myself and Logan have to participate in these markets is because we understand that it is a Ponzi, that it is a scam, that financial markets are exactly that. It's people controlling where the price goes, and you're either going to get wrecked or you're going to make a lot of money. So some people look at that as, well, I know it's a Ponzi, therefore I don't want to partake. Look at that, Bees. We fucking flew up to 5, 6 live viewers. The people, they love it. I mean, it's just, anyways, but it's a Ponzi. And so you can either look at it as a negative and say, all right, I don't want to partake because I know that people are going to have an advantage on me or assume that. Or you could look at it the way that we do and say, well, if there's people getting filthy fucking rich off of markets and off of crypto specifically because of the volatility that it provides, then we're going to be a part of that. Because once we figure out what the market makers are doing and what the big boys are doing, because that's exactly what happens, market makers control where the price goes. If you can get on the side of the market makers, you're going to make a shit ton of money with them. So why wouldn't you partake in something like that?
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, with crypto, it's a zero sum game. We've talked about it a bunch of times. So, it's you versus the other traders that are in the space. So you just have to put yourself in a position where you're able to out trade them. And usually out trading them means not over trading, like I've hit on multiple times. So, working with people, following the moves of people that you trust, that are doing the research, that are, putting you in a position to win. And then you have conviction in your plays and your holds. And, you buy at the right times during the dips on red days like today. And then, you hold through the cycle until it's time to get out and rotate into something different. One thing I wanted to hit on real quick is something that I've talked to with multiple people who are a little bit newer to crypto is just being able to understand the charts and knowing where you're at. I think that something that's really different with crypto versus, the legacy markets is that with the stock market, the market closes and opens every single day. So the 24-hour charts on the stock market are a little bit more accurate and give you a little bit better data just because it's day to day to day to day. Whereas with crypto, it's a 24-hour market. It can be traded at 2 in the morning or 11 p.m. or, in the middle of the day. It doesn't matter. It's open 24/7. So a lot of the times, if you're too zoomed in and you're just looking at the 24-hour chart, it's easy to get kind of thrown off and discouraged because, like Brett, for instance, if you look at the 24-hour chart, 24 hours ago from right now was the peak of yesterday's pump whenever it was at, 23, almost 24 cents.
Mm-hmm.
So if you look at the 24-hour chart right now, it's showing that it's down 15% in the past 24 hours. But if you zoom out a little bit over the past, 2 or 3 days, it's up big time.
Yeah.
It's still up 20%, 25% in the last 2 to 3 days. So, it just kind of depends on where the chart was at 24 hours ago exactly. Because once we give this chart, another 6 to 12 hours to play out a little bit, it's only going to be down a couple percent. So I think it's really important to keep that in mind that sometimes the 24-hour charts in crypto really aren't that great to look at. So especially when we're in plays that we're planning to hold throughout the entire cycle, you guys got to make sure that you're zooming out a little bit and try and look at it from a higher time frame. I'm always looking at the weekly or the monthly chart because it's going to give you a way more accurate picture of what's really going on.
Exactly. And that's a great thing to point out because people who are watching this have to understand we're not here to be traders. Okay, that's not our expertise. That's not what we're trying to do. We're not trying to do day to day, buy this, sell it the next day for a little bit of a profit, etc. We're not day trading this market. In crypto, you want to make a shit ton of money without having to, train yourself to become a professional trader. You have to be able to hold things through volatility because, yeah, it might go down 10, 20, 30% over the course of a week or 2 weeks. But that same volatility to the downside is what you're going to notice to the upside down the road. So 2, 3, 4, 5 months from now, it's going to be up 2, 3, 4, 5x. But you can't just be looking at it on a day-to-day basis because you're going to see that volatility. You're going to fucking drop yourself to bits because you're going to start trading out of those tokens because you get nervous. Oh, I'm down 20%. I don't want to lose more money. Let me sell. Or, oh, I'm up 20%. Now you're only up 10%, so you want to start taking profits just because it drew back down a little bit, right? We notice that's what people do that aren't used to these markets and the volatility that it provides. We're not here to trade. We're here to hold. We're here to invest. We buy low and we sell high over the course of a year, over the course of 6 to 8 months. And you're going to see on these tokens, you're going to pull a 10, 15, 20x on some of these lower cap memes. And that's life-changing money. You got 10, 20 grand in one of these meme coins, you pull a 20x, you got $500,000, almost $500,000, right?
Yeah. And I mean, I think it's important to remember too, like you said, these markets are manipulated, so there's market makers that are making these charts a certain way intentionally. Like I think right now, the big thing that market makers are trying to draw people to is XRP.
Yeah.
So for anyone that's been following XRP the past few months, it's up 3, 4, 500% just in the past month or two. And, now it's the third largest market cap in the crypto space. It's right behind Ethereum. It flipped Solana, which if you look at the history of XRP was no real surprise. It flipped BNB, and it's not really that big of a surprise that it happened, to be honest, not to me. So I think that a lot of people are they're getting drawn to XRP and they're wanting to rotate out of their Ethereum positions. They're wanting to rotate out of their meme coin positions into XRP, and they want to chase that pump that's happening right now. But like we've seen time and time again, whenever you chase green, you're going to end up coping. You're going to end up wanting to rotate back into the plays that you had, and you're going to end up getting back in with a way shittier position. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think it's just knowing that this stuff happens intentionally. You're going to get drawn to these coins that are doing multiples that are performing really, really well, but you're just going to end up chasing the pumps that inevitably come on the coins that you were previously holding. Because yeah, I mean, right now it's a bit, it's a bull market. January historically is always the month that Ethereum performs the best. So if you guys are already in these meme coins that we've been preaching about that are on the Ethereum network or on the base network like Brett, January is historically the month that these coins perform the best.
Right.
So we're already seeing huge gains. I mean, every single member of the boys club, we were just looking at it the other day, Andy, Brett, Pepe, and Landwolf, all 4 of them are up well over 100% in the past 30 days. So these coins are already doing multiples with Ethereum still being well below price discovery. And for you guys to want to rotate out of those coins into something like XRP or into something like Dogecoin, things that are performing really, really well right now that are outperforming Ethereum, you guys are just going to end up chasing the pump in January whenever Ethereum decides to really go nuts. And you guys are going to be pissed because you're going to be getting in, you know, 2, 3, 400% higher than the entries you previously had. And we've talked about it so much that your entry into these coins makes such a difference. Because if you're in at, say, like Landwolf right now, I think it's around 120, $130 million market cap.
Right.
Being in at a position like that versus jumping back into Landwolf here in a couple months when it's at 4 or 500 million, if it goes up to a billion, you know, you're pulling a 2x instead of a 5 or 6x, which if you have a few $1,000s invested, those extra multiples make such a difference. So yeah, that's my number one piece of advice is just remember that these markets are manipulated in a way to draw people to big pumps and pull you out of your positions and get you to cheat out of your bags early when, you know, they're inevitably going to pump when it's a market like this.
Right. And so you see these, and this is what normies see whenever they go onto Coinbase or Robinhood. They see XRP. Holy shit, XRP's moving now. Everybody starts piling into the coins that they see pumping, like you're talking about. And that's the worst thing that can happen for somebody that doesn't understand that the money always gets spread around eventually. That money, that liquidity is eventually going to come back to your tokens, to your place. It just might not be on that day. So you can't look at your conviction bags and say, oh shit, it's not pumping up 3-4x in the last week just like XRP did. Let me go ahead and sell those bags while they're down because I feel like I'm getting outperformed by a different token and chasing that big green candle, right? So this is exactly what normies are seeing. They're coming to XRP and they're logging onto their Coinbase and to their Robinhood. They're seeing that XRP over the last week is up, or 2 weeks is up, 300-400%, which is insane off of the lows, right? I'm having this on the weekly time frame right now. I mean, yeah, XRP 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks in a row, huge green candles. So you could look at it one of two ways. You could say, oh, wow, XRP is at $100 billion market cap now. I think it's going to get another 5x from here. Let me just ape into it and try to catch the rest of this pump. You could do that, and you might still get, a 2-3x from here. It's possible. It probably will happen. The problem is that you're buying into a candle where you've already missed 60.
500%.
Yeah, exactly. You missed multiples on this move already. So could you still make money by investing into XRP? Yeah, you could, but the point is not trying to make money. It's trying to make as much money as humanly possible, the most multiples possible on your money, especially if you don't have $10 million you're trying to size into a coin that has the liquidity for $10 million. Most of you guys probably have 10, 15, 20, 30, $50,000 that you're trying to invest. You don't need to put that money into XRP for 2-3x. You need to put that money into a meme coin that's a small enough market cap where you can get 10, 15, 20x on that coin still. So now here's a good thing about XRP pumping though. XRP pumping is good because it means retail's coming back to the markets. It means retail's putting their money into the game and they're trying to get into the casino. And XRP is just a doomer coin, or not doomer, a boomer coin. Doomer. So yeah, I mean, look at this. XRP's previous all-time high, I thought it was a little bit higher than this, but it was $3.20, right? So this was back in 2018. We hit that all-time high. Yeah, $3.30. I mean, we're already back at right now we're at 260.62, right? So XRP is probably going to beat, I mean, not probably, I would venture to bet that it's going to beat its previous all-time high from back in 2018. And the reason it's going to do that is because the SEC case that they had brought against XRP is just about to get basically tossed to the curb, and they had Gary Gensler step down. So that's why everybody's bullish on XRP now, because it didn't get to have its pump in 2021 whenever it did have the SEC case. Yeah, it came up a little bit, but it didn't beat its previous all-time high because of the SEC case they had open against them. So yeah, seeing XRP pump is bullish. I mean, it is important, but you just can't be chasing those things. If we go back to Bitcoin real quick, I want to show this I want to show the patterns that are building on these Boys Club memes, because the title of the show is the Boys Club Retirement Plan. So we're going to show you guys not financial advice, but how to retire off of the Boys Club. Okay. So because we got the pump this weekend. So here's the range that we had built on Bitcoin over the course of 7 or 8 months this summer. So let me actually put this on the daily time frame just so you get a better picture of this. So Bitcoin built this range right here where basically what market makers are doing is they're accumulating their bags so that they can send this price much higher. And whenever they're going through this range, what they're doing is trying to elicit emotion out of people and traders and get them to jeet their bags, get them to take profit, get them to sell their Bitcoin so that the market makers, the big dogs, can get their average entry price a lot lower than if it was just up only. Okay, so they create this range where they're pumping it to the top of the range. People are taking profits at the top. They start to shoot the price back down. People start to sell, capitulate, take profits, think that it's over, things is going to go lower, and then the market makers come in at the bottom of this range, and during these 3 deviations, they come in and they go ahead and accumulate their bag, so they get a lower average entry price. Okay, great. So then finally, you get this one big green candle outside of the range. You see, boom, as soon as it breaks out of the range, then we have a breakout, a confirmed breakout, and then the price goes much higher, okay? So pay attention to that range that we had built and what that looks like. All right. So now we go to Ethereum, right? So we got 2 little ranges that played out on Ethereum. Okay. So we had the big range right here, the accumulation through August through November, whenever everybody was down on ETH. Everybody thought it was over for ETH. It's never going to pump again. Oh, and we were basically waiting for this Ethereum breakout so that our meme coins, our Ethereum plays, could start to catch a bid as well. Okay. Finally, we get these 2 big green dildos. Bang. We break out of the range. We get a confirmed breakout. We got a little pause here. This is on the daily, so let's put it down on the 12-hour. We get a new little range right here. Okay. So we get the breakout. We come back down. We fill a little bit of this FEG. We go ahead and build this range right here. Range, reaccumulation. We get this big green candle, another confirmed breakout. And then now price of Ethereum is back in an uptrend. Okay. So this is good. Now, seasonality plays into this as well, because the context in which we're going into this bull run is that Bitcoin typically in a bull run will outperform Q4. So Q4 is Bitcoin season. That's what we saw since Q4 started. Bitcoin broke out. It's going much higher. The rest of this December, we should see Bitcoin go over 100,000, probably up to 115, 120,000. We can look at the fibs on that in a second, which is great. So we want Bitcoin to continue to go up. But what you're going to see is now that Ethereum is catching a bid, and Ethereum just hit its all-time high inflow on the ETFs as well yesterday, over $1 billion in ETF flows, net positive flows. You're going to start to see Ethereum start to catch up with Bitcoin, okay? And that's what we're seeing right now. So Ethereum's starting to put in some green days whenever Bitcoin's not doing as well. So we got Ethereum starting to break out. Q1 is whenever we should see Ethereum greatly outperform Bitcoin and eventually get back into price discovery, which is back up at $4,800 right now. We're only at 3,600, okay? So everything's looking bullish. Everything's looking good, all right? And anything you want to comment on that real quick, Bees?
I sent you the chart to your email of the Boys Club bull flag, that tweet from this weekend. It's like the bull flag from the 4 Boys Club members, if you want to pull that up.
Yep, I got it.
I don't know if you want to hide your screen for a second, pull that up.
For sure. All right. Let's do a little Mr. Producer. I know which one you're talking about. I saw that as well. All right, hold on. Let me screen capture, do the zoom, boom. But yeah, so you see how those ranges are playing out on Bitcoin and Ethereum. And then I know exactly why Logan wants me to look at this, because let me download. How would I do this? Let's do a little plug for the Taylor's code. Let's look at this. Yeah, that's much better. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen on Zoom. And then look at these bull flags ahead. Let me adjust the screen share. So this is a chart that a gentleman had posted on Twitter. That was real good. Oh my goodness. Okay. Can you see this, Bees?
Yep.
All right. I just want to make sure it looks good on the stream too. So as we've seen Bitcoin and Ethereum draw those ranges and hit highs, right? So let me change my view on trading view screen capture. There we go. All right, this should be better now. Okay, I gotta hire somebody to do the Mr. Producer moving forward. So this is the 4 boys club now. Okay, so this is where we're at with the boys club. Now you have Pepe, Brett, Andy, and Wolf. Pepe being the largest market cap, Brett the second, Andy, and then Wolf in succession. So in this last week where we saw Bitcoin starting to range and do a consolidation and Ethereum do the same thing, you saw these big pumps on the boys club as the breakout for Bitcoin and Ethereum happened. Then we started drawing these bull flags. Okay. All 4 of the boys club members drew the same exact bull flag pattern. Okay. So it's basically you build short. So the market makers build these memes short so that they can send them long. Okay, so they make them look like they're coming down lower. People start to capitulate. People start to sell, start to take profits, thinking that it's over, thinking that they're not going to get more pumps out of this. And then the market makers, they fill in their positions a little bit lower price, and then bang, they shoot them up higher. So you can see how literally all 4 of the memes built the same exact bull flag pattern. And guess what happened? Brett was the first one to break out so far. But Brett built this consolidation, this low reaccumulation range at its previous all-time highs that looked beautiful, right? Brett being the second one. And then if you look at these charts further down the line where they're at now, we're going to show that in a second. Brett broke out. Now it's at all-time highs again, right? And now it's pausing real quick again, waiting for Bitcoin to move again, and then Brett's going to go up higher. I'm going to show you the fibs on that as well. But all 4 of these memes are playing as perfect beta to Ethereum, which is essentially beta to Bitcoin, right? That's exactly what we want. We want data that shows how our memes are going to perform in certain environments, not random speculation in terms of where that meme coin is going to go. These are directly correlated to Bitcoin and Ethereum, and they're building the same patterns that they're building as well. So that's how we know, okay, we can be bullish on these memes. And the whole point we're bullish on these memes is because as Ethereum goes up 10%, Pepe is going to go up 30%, and Brett's going to go up 50%, and Andy's going to go up 100% compared to Ethereum. That's what we want. We want leveraged bets on these majors.
Yep. And I think this is why I was saying at the beginning, it's so important to zoom out on the charts a little bit, because there's definitely days. I mean, we saw it over the weekend. There's days where some of these members are going to outperform the others dramatically. This weekend, Brett was dramatically outperforming everything else. I mean, all of them were pumping, but Brett was definitely the clear outperformer from this weekend. But if you guys look, I mean, this is the daily chart, I believe. So this is looking at a time frame of, pretty much the entire year, half the year of 2024. So there's days where some seem better than others. You guys want to rotate from one into the other, then back into what you had. And you just end up over trading. But when you zoom out a little bit, you see that these charts are all pretty much correlating to each other over the course of 6 months. And if you put Ethereum on this chart, you're going to see that these charts are all moving almost in direct correlation with Ethereum.
Right.
So obviously Pepe, I think, is kind of the leader of the boys club. It has the highest market cap. It has the most exposure. I mean, especially since getting listed to Binance, Coinbase, and Robinhood as well, which was huge. But you guys saw that positive impact that Pepe had getting listed directly affected the rest of the boys club members, because it's a trickle down effect. As people find out about Pepe, they're going to find out about Brett, and then they're going to find out about Andy. They're going to find out about Wolf. So especially if you guys are holding all of the boys club members, like we've been preaching about doing since the beginning of the year, especially, I preach about not over trading, but rotating between the boys club members, we found out, is just completely foolish, because these coins are all going to pump. You might have days or weeks where one outperforms the other, but if you're trying to chase one and then rotate back into the other one, and you're trying to play the dips and the pumps off these coins individually, you guys are going to end up getting burnt. So diversify throughout the boys club. Have faith that these are going to move as Ethereum moves, and there's going to be days and weeks where some outperform the other. But right now, you guys should be loading up on these coins.
Yes.
Today's a big red day for all of them. Don't let that deter you. Don't let it make you fearful. Today's a beautiful day to load up on these coins even more.
In bull runs, pullbacks are for buying. Okay, be convicted. Pullbacks are for buying. What I've done really well over the summertime and recently is in the last couple of months. Anytime there have been pullbacks, I've just trained myself to buy more, buy more, buy more, buy more, and that does two things for you. Number one, obviously it DCAs, so your average cost per token is going to go down if you bought towards the top, right? You made that mistake. But number two, now whenever you buy dips and you really pack your bags whenever the coins are pulled back, when you do eventually get that 20%, 30% move back to the upside, not only are you regaining all the value that you had lost during that pullback, but you're going to see how much harder your bags pump because now you have a lot more of that asset. So that 20% move is going to be 20% on a lot larger bag as opposed to if you just didn't buy the pullback, if that makes sense. So you have to train yourself to buy dips in a bull run. Those are your opportunities to get entries. The last thing you want to do, and people make this mistake all the time, this is why they're not effective in these markets, is they get excited when they see green, so they buy green. It's human psychology. Monkey see green, monkey buys. Monkey see red, monkey sells. But that's the exact opposite of what you're supposed to be doing. If you want to be profitable, you have to buy when people don't want it. Whenever it's pulling back, whenever there's fear, you buy the asset because you have the foresight to know that this asset's going to be desirable in the future. It's going to appreciate, so therefore I can sell it to you whenever you want to buy it when it's green, just like XRP right now. People are buying this massive green candle on XRP. You don't want to be that guy because all you're doing is becoming exit liquidity for the people that had it at the bottom and then want to take profits on you. So you go ahead and buy in for a couple of racks and they just take profits on you. So you got to have the foresight to say, okay, this is a bull run. I know the context in which we're in right now. This is going to be the price of this asset is going to be much higher in 6 months from now. So now that it's in a pullback, I'm going to know, okay, I better buy this at a better price, at a better entry. So let's take a look at these on TradingView. But yeah, go ahead, Bees.
Yeah, I mean, I was just going to say, if you believe in Ethereum and you know that there's no way that Bitcoin's going to break out 25% above previous all-time highs, 30 to 40% above range highs.
Uh-huh.
And you don't think that all of these institutions that have billions of dollars on the line with, things they've built out on the blockchain with Ethereum and the ETFs getting approved on Ethereum, and you guys don't think that they're at least going to push it to new all-time highs, if not at least 30 to 40% above previous all-time highs like they did on Bitcoin.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I think at this point that plays a no-brainer. So if you guys believe in Ethereum performing well in January, which historically is when Ethereum performs the best, and then the boys clubs, yeah. I mean, you guys see the correlation. I mean, I've talked to it about, to multiple people that I've preached to about getting involved in the crypto markets this cycle. If you look at the boys club charts and you compare it to the members, or, you compare it to the Ethereum chart so far this cycle,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you guys are going to see it's direct correlation. It's literally leveraged Ethereum. So
Right.
if you guys believe in Ethereum performing well throughout the rest of the cycle, you guys are in the perfect position. If you're in the boys club, don't cheat.
No,
It's
don't.
not time. I'm not selling any. I've said it time and time again. I'm not selling a single thing until 2025.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and even for tax purposes, you guys don't want to be cheating your bags right before the new year, because then you're going to be paying taxes in April on the shit that you made in 2024. Wait till 2025 before you start taking profits so you don't pay taxes till 2026. So that's just in and of itself just not intelligent.
Yeah, and I think too, it's important for tax purposes to remember the big difference between crypto and the stock markets is whenever you want to buy, say you have Apple stock and you want to get Tesla, you got to sell your Apple stock and claim those profits and recognize those gains to be able to then use that US dollar to go ahead and buy Tesla.
Yes.
Where with crypto, if you want to get out of Brett and you want to buy Andy, or you want to get out of Brett and you want to buy Ethereum or whatever it is, you don't have to sell it and recognize those profits. You can just do a swap from one to the next. So at the end of this cycle, or whenever you guys are getting to the position where you want to start taking profits, which, we're going to be calling that out in the Taylor's code and telling you guys what our plays are and telling you when we're rotating and everything else, make sure that you guys are still keeping it in the crypto market and you're swapping it. If you want to do the most conservative, safest play that you can, rotate those profits into USDT.
Yes. Yes.
Rotate it into USDT. You don't have to recognize the gains. You don't have to sell it and convert it back into fiat currency. Rotate it into USDT. And if you guys are in the Taylor's code, we're going to be telling you what the play is upcoming here in Q1, Q2 of 2025 to be able to still be profiting without having to pay a bunch of money in taxes by converting that money into US dollars. You don't want to do it. And
Right.
if you want the play, join.
I've been telling them. I texted a couple of people this week after Brett just absolutely ripped past all-time highs. I said, and if he's watching, he'll know who it is. I said, so have you been buying Brett? Because I've been telling everybody to buy Brett. Both of us have been telling people to buy Brett since we first started accumulating it at $300 million market cap back in March-ish. During the summertime was whenever we were really pushing it, saying, hey, buy Brett, buy Brett, buy Brett, $600, $700 million market cap. Brett's now at over a $2 billion market cap. So if you guys were just accumulating whatever we had told you to, you'd be up 2-3x already, minimum, okay? So hopefully you did. If you're not paying attention, if you haven't been paying attention, you're not inside the Taylor's code, then yeah, click the link in the description and join so you can actually start to participate on what it is that we're doing here. And so I just wanted to draw real quick these ranges that had played out on Brett and Pepe. So we're talking about how I've been posting the Taylor's code for the last week. This beautiful, beautiful accumulation range at the all-time highs that Brett had been putting together. Okay, so you see this little range I drew down on the bottom. So this was Brett pumped up to its previous all-time highs, right? Rejected, and then it just reaccumulated for this past week here. Just boom, boom, reaccumulation, reaccumulation, reaccumulation. And the reason that played out so beautifully is because it did not draw back down. It didn't go down into a downtrend and start bleeding. No, Brett shot to its all-time high, built this little range here, which is basically it accumulating energy to be able to take its next leg higher. So Brett's doing this beautiful, beautiful reaccumulation, and as soon as it broke out of this range, boom, you see the two huge meat sticks, and it actually came all the way up to a, what is that? 23 cents, so $2.3 billion market cap. So notice what's happening on Pepe right now. Pepe, it just happened to go first on Brett. So Brett already broke out, and Brett's going to take its next leg higher. Brett should get up to about 25, 27 cents before we make a new range and reaccumulate again. Pepe is about to do the same thing. So Pepe's still in that accumulation range, right? So this is where you should be loading up on something like Pepe because you're still within this range before you get that imminent breakout. So Pepe is going to do something similar in the sense that it's going to be like this. So, it's down here. It might come down here, come back up here, and then eventually it does its breakout just like Brett, right? That brush is so shit. Every time it's shit. So, but you get the point. So it should play in this range until you get that eventual breakout, and that's going to pump up just like Brett did. So you guys see the similarities within those ranges. If you look at something like, so let's look at Andy. Andy, you can draw the same thing. Look, you just go ahead and do this. If you want to draw the range like right here, something like that. Hold on. Yeah, something like that. Right? Andy's doing the same thing. It gets this pump, okay? It's close to its previous all-time high. It does this reaccumulation range, right? So it's building this range right here, and the same thing's going to happen with Andy. You're just going to see I know there's a way to do this. Hold on. This one's better. Andy's going to do a similar thing where it's going to go like this. Come back up to the range high, and then boom, breakout, okay? That's what you're going to see happen in all four of the boys club. Now, how does this benefit you knowing this information? Well, you're supposed to accumulate whenever the market makers are accumulating. This is whenever they're picking up their bags. That's why it's called an accumulation range, because they're accumulating the asset in a sideways price action so that whenever they're ready to send the price up higher, they can do so with a nice entry. So that's what's going on right now. So again, Brett already had its breakout. It led the four of the boys club this time. Which, keep in mind, Brett doesn't have any Coinbase listings, doesn't have any Robinhood listing, doesn't have any Binance listing, but every single other major meme coin ahead of Brett has already been listed on all those platforms. So that shows you how much strength is behind Brett and its desire to be bid by the market. It's not on any major exchanges. Not a single normie has access to Brett unless they went on chain and actually bought it on chain or on the Coinbase wallet, which again is still more steps than just the Coinbase app. Brett, once it does get listed on these major exchanges, which I believe is going to happen here soon, that's why I just had this recent breakout. I bet you that means a Coinbase listing soon. Brett's going to go fucking insane because there's already so much of a bid before it got listed on any major exchanges. So you're still early to Brett, considering the fact that it's not even on Coinbase, Robinhood, or any of these, or Binance, where most of the people are going to be buying their assets from. So, but anyways, the point about this range is this is when you want to be accumulating Andy, because when Andy starts to range, I wouldn't wait till it comes back down to range lows because I don't necessarily believe that it will. But once you get closer to this mid range, that middle white line, right, which is about almost where you're at right now, that's where you should be accumulating. Buying Andy, buying Andy, buying Andy, waiting for this imminent breakout if you're looking to get a position. Guarantee you that Wolf is looking the same way. Yeah, look. It's the same shit on every fucking chart. It just hasn't broken out yet. Brett's the only one that's already broken out. So draw this real quick. Same thing. Boom. It's just reaccumulating. Pumps up, comes back down into this range, is reaccumulating, and then it's going to break out again. It's the same shit for every single fucking chart.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, this is why I think it's just so important to zoom out a little bit. Because if you guys are just obsessed with the daily charts and you're looking at it day to day to day to day, you're going to exhaust yourself and you're going to be stressing out. Because I mean, you look at the Wolf chart for today, you know, it's down what, 8 to 10% on the day. So you see that move to the downside, you start panicking, you start freaking out. You're like, oh man, you know, if you have a pretty big position, you're down a few $1,000 today. You're like, all right, that's it. I can't take this anymore. You want to get out. Not financial advice, but it's not over. Right. It's not even close. I mean, yeah, like with the position that Ethereum's in right now and how much companies have on the line, they're going to send it higher. It's just inevitable. It's just waiting for Bitcoin to cool off a little bit. I think we're going to get one more. Personally, I think we're going to get one more big leg out of Bitcoin. I think did you have the fibs on Bitcoin?
Yes, I should. And if not, I'll redraw them. I actually already have fibs on this different pane for Brett, so I want to show the guys what Brett's looking at. But yeah, let's look at Bitcoin real quick. All right, so I don't have them drawn on here, but I'll draw it real quick.
Okay.
But yeah, go ahead.
But yeah, so I mean, I think that, you know, we've been preaching it since May or June, just about exactly what was going to happen. So we said Bitcoin was going to drastically outperform Ethereum. You know, it would suck up dominance, and then eventually, once Bitcoin starts to cool off, Ethereum's going to get the green light to run, and that's when altcoin inevitably is going to begin. So obviously, it's easy to talk about it, but once you start having those red days where your portfolio is down, you know, 10 to 15% on the day, it's easy to start reconsidering. You want to capitulate. You want to get out and say, all right, I can't take this volatility anymore. But like I've said again and again, if you guys enjoy the volatility to the upside, you got to enjoy the volatility to the downside just as much. And that's where, like Priamo said, you got to be DCAing, you got to be buying more, and you just got to have confidence and conviction in your plays, and know that we've done the research, know that we've studied this, know that it's exactly playing out. I mean, we've heard plenty of people say it, that, you know, it almost seems like a simulation, the crypto markets, how consistently they move in cycles and how cyclical the market really is. It almost seems like a simulation because it's just the same thing over and over again. So yeah, January is Ethereum season.
Yes.
And you know, it's still early. So even for Brett, I mean, he's going to pull the fibs on that here in a second. Even though Brett already broke out a little bit, if you zoom out a little bit as far as what it's going to do this cycle, once it gets some major exchange listings, which I think at this point, in my opinion, are inevitable. You know, there's still so much meat left on the bone. And the longer you guys wait, the longer you guys, you know, wonder if it's going to go higher, you wait for a better entry. Every one of the boys club members right now is a buy, strong buy, according to trading view.
Strong buy it. So if you look at the fibs on Bitcoin, so the next area we're going to be looking for is around 112,000 is where the 2.618 is on the fibs. So expect it through the end of December. We're probably going to get some sideways price action for the first week or two of December. Then the Santa rally comes in, so everybody's getting their money. A bunch of options and calls and things in financial markets are going to start closing, which is going to be a big liquidity release for traders, which is going to inevitably rotate into Bitcoin, which is going to send the price higher as well. So you should see it. I expect it to go higher than the actual fib. So we're going to get this for the next couple of weeks. We're going to get something like this. Boom, 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 boom. And then we'll probably overshoot it a little bit to about 118-ish, 120-ish, and then create a range in here, something like this, before we take the next leg higher, right? Something like that, and then go up again. So expect it. We're expecting about 115, 120,000 on Bitcoin by the end of the year. Okay, so when that next leg up, that's when you're going to start to see, once Bitcoin tops on that next leg up at the next fib, that's when you're going to see the real alt season happen. And that's when you're going to start to see the outperformance from the boys club. That's going to be fucking ridiculous, where you're waking up every single day and it's up 50, 60, 100% on your bags. And yeah, that's real. I mean, you'll literally wake up to a 2x on your bags. So, and that's whenever the alt season will start to play out. So I just want to show you guys fibs on something like Brett, because again, we've been talking about this for so long. We've been telling people to buy it. I mean, we understand what's going to happen. So Brett, previous all-time high was about 1.9, 19 cents, 19.5 cents, which was 1.9 billion dollar market cap. We come down, we get them into this reaccumulation down here. That's where we were telling you guys to buy it. Hopefully you did. If you haven't, well, right now would probably be a good idea to start buying it. So what I did was I drew two different sets of fibs just to see what kind of confluence there would be on Brett and where we would go after price discovery. And so we have the all-time high here. So we got the large fib on the large range, which puts the 1.618 at 27 cents. Okay, right now Brett's at about 20 cents almost. So about 27 cents on that fib. And then I also drew some fibs on this more recent reaccumulation, this little range right here that I drew in the white. We drew a fib on there. This 1.618 was at, what's that say? 22 cents. And then the 2.618 is at 26 cents. So you see that there's a little bit of confluence right in here. So this 1.618 and this 2.618 are close to each other. So I'm going to expect the price after this next little pump to be up in there. So I'm expecting this to come up like this. So we broke out, okay? We came back down, we retested this level right here, the previous all-time high. You see how we get this perfect little retest on this line. So we're going to see something like this again, come up here, and then up in here. So I expect the price to come up into this little zone where there's some fib confluence. So we're going to probably see the price go up to about 27 cents and then create another range. So 27 cents from here, it's going to be a nice 20-30% move. So Brett, right here, if you're looking to get a position, this is where I would be buying, is literally right here. You see how we get this big pump, we retrace this pump, and we retest almost perfectly on this fib right here, the previous all-time high. So the previous all-time high has now essentially made itself support, because you see the three different wicks. All these candles wicked down to this area right here, this price area, and that's clearly demand, because as these wicks come down here and tap this line, they start to pump back up, so that the bodies are closing above. So that's now our new support. So you're going to see Brett use that previous all-time high as support and come back up, and then we're gonna see it end this next run up in here in this area. So if you're gonna buy, this right here is where you should be buying on support. Okay, anything on that, Bees?
No, yeah, I mean, I think right now is, yeah, I don't think Brett's going to go too far below 2 billion again. I mean, especially like you said, I mean, out of I think it's what, the 7th largest meme coin in the entire crypto space.
Right.
The 6 that are above it all have major listings. You know, if they're not on Robinhood, they're at least on Binance and Coinbase.
Right.
So, I mean, it's just, yeah, the listing, not financial advice again, but I think the listing for Brett is inevitable. And I don't think even without listings, it's going to go too far below 2 billion. You know, it might retest that 1.9 billion here the next couple of days as it's ranging and these guys are accumulating. But I mean, once it gets listed, yeah, I think it's going to shoot up to 27 cents at the minimum. And then that's going to become the new support for the rest of the cycle. So now is definitely the time to buy it. I mean, even if you guys have already bought now, even though you may not be DCAing, you may already have a better entry like we do, but it's still for what's to come for Brett, still a fantastic buy, you know, even if you're not DCAing.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it is. It's just, I mean, it's going to go higher. That's just the reality of it. So you just want to make sure you're buying on support, not at resistance, so that your bags are going up, not down whenever you buy. So Andy and Wolf are going to be the two lowest market caps of the four of the boys club. So if you guys have not a lot of money to play with, so you got a couple of grand that you're just trying to get a 10, 15x on. Sure, 2 grand, 10x is $20,000, so it's meaningful, right? If you have a couple of thousand dollars, you want to be going into Andy and Wolf, okay? Because Andy and Wolf are gonna and again, nobody knows for sure, but at the minimum, they're gonna 10x, okay? At the minimum. So Andy, you see it drawing the similar reaccumulation like we were talking about on all four of the boys club. They're all playing out the same way. The nice thing about Andy is that you're getting this reaccumulation lower than its previous all-time high. So you're seeing this play out right in here, which is below its previous all-time high, which you could call it this wick, you could call it this wick up here. I'm using the wick all the way up here. So you're reaccumulating down here. This is where you want to be buying Andy and getting your bags filled. So I did the same thing on here. I drew 2 sets of fibs. So I got the fib on the huge range from back in June all the way down to over here in November, we're in December now. So I got the one huge fib, which is this big set, and then we got the fibs on this local reaccumulation range. I wanted to see where there was some confluence, and you can see clearly the confluence is right here. So confluence right here at the 1 for the large range, and then the 1.618 on the smaller range. And then you have some confluence at the 1.618 and the 3.618 on the smaller range, okay? So we go closer in here, right? So you see this confluence right here where these lines overlap. 1.618 overlaps with the large range. So Andy very obviously is going to do something like this, right? And it's most certainly going to react with this range or this area right here because there's a lot of confluence. So that's going to be 381. So that's going to be close to another 2x, okay, from where it's at right now, depending on where you get your entry. So you're going to see a 2x on Andy quickly there. And then if you zoom out a bit, then the next area of importance would do, so you come up here, probably create a new range, right? Do something like this. And then we're going to look at somewhere up in here. This is where you see the next confluence. So at 58761. So you're looking at around $600 million market cap for that next fib confluence. So right now we're at about 230 market cap. So what is that? 2x, 3x?
Almost a 3x.
Yeah, almost a 3x from just right where we're at right now. So, I mean, yeah, it's just, they're going to go higher. Like, what else do you want us to say? It's just, just fucking buy it. I'm showing you. Do you have anything on that, Bees?
No, I mean, I think all the boys club members are in a pretty similar position right now.
Right.
And I think every one of them's a buy. I don't really think you can go wrong. I mean, I think the only way you're going to go wrong is rotating and chasing and trying to day trade the boys club. It's just, it doesn't make sense. They're all going to move over the course of the cycle. Some might front run the other ones, but right. I mean, they're all in accumulation ranges right now. Brett had a little bit of a breakout, but it's back retesting previous all-time highs. It's not going to go much lower than it is right now. So I'd say, in my opinion, the one to have the most urgency on with your entry would be Brett, because I think the Coinbase listing, the Binance listing, the Robinhood listing are coming very soon. And similar to what you saw with Pepe, I mean, as soon as Pepe got listed, it had an 80% move that day. I mean, I think after the listing, it's going to go higher. There's going to be an accumulation range, exactly like Pepe's doing right now, before it sends even higher, before it goes parabolic, similar to what, Dogecoin and SHIB did after their listings. They had the initial, euphoria pump right after the listing. They ranged for about a month, and then they did about another 8 to 10x from what they got listed at. So you don't want to miss out on that pump with Brett. I'd say that's probably the one to have the most urgency with as far as getting involved with. But I mean, I think they're all buys right now. And I think you're going to do very, very well through the rest of quarter 4, and especially throughout the first couple months of quarter 1, 2025, with any of them, as long as you guys hold with conviction and you wait for us to give you the green light to sell inside the TC.
And so you guys got to understand the reason we're so bullish on those 4 assets, the reason we keep looking at them is because of how closely they trade with each other. That's what you got to remember. That is not the norm throughout the entire market. What most people do in the entire market is they try to buy the green candles after something's already pumping and trying to catch some kind of residual bid on an asset that's already been moving up. It's not sustainable to trade something that has no correlation to any of the majors. Okay, you want to trade things, or you want to invest in things, because we're not day trading. You want to invest in things that are correlated to the major assets, because Bitcoin has price history, Ethereum has price history, Solana, XRP, they have price history. They've been around for 10 years, right? When you can trade something based off of data, not only does that make you more confident in the long-term holding of that asset, therefore allowing you to hold bags longer without getting emotional about the drawdowns and just buying in more, it allows you to be confident when to buy and when to sell, which is important. You don't want to be just guessing and buying shit just because it looks good or it's green on the day on Coinbase or on fucking Robinhood. That's not how you come out as a victor in these markets. You have to understand that these market makers, they look at retail, they look at people who get on Coinbase and Robinhood and Binance as exit liquidity. You have to understand this is the way that they look at you. Okay, they're looking at you to buy the bags when they're much higher valuation so they can exit the market and dump on your heads. So many people, I've heard so many people back in 2021 how they buy Dogecoin, they bought Solana, they bought Bitcoin, all these things whenever the hype was at its highest, and they're all like, oh my God, I lost money. Yeah, I lost money on Dogecoin, I lost money on Bitcoin, etc. Yeah, because they used you as exit liquidity, right? That's exactly what you are as a retail investor. So you got to get on the other side and say, okay, what's Priyamo doing? What's Logan doing? What are these guys inside the Taylor's Code doing? Oh, what we're doing is we're buying the assets before they're mainstream. We're buying the assets, understanding what the narrative is, so that whenever it does come time to sell, retail, our exit liquidity, is jumping into the markets and buying our bags. That's the game. That's the name of the game. So, I mean, decide what side you want to be on.
Yeah, TC is the edge.
Yeah, I mean, guys, you guys, if anybody has me on Snapchat and seen some of the posts with my one wallet, and I mean, yeah, it's just, we're printing money. I mean, what else do you want me to say? I mean, what else? It's so incredible to see how people will watch you make $1 million this year, and they don't think to themselves, maybe I should figure out how this guy just made $1 million this year. Probably be a good question to ask, but some people will, some people won't. So what, right? I just know that the people inside of the Taylor's Code, they're pretty fucking fired up because all the things that we've been telling them to buy since the summertime are up 2, 3, 4x. So they're going to be pretty excited. And that's not the end of it, ladies and gentlemen. We have not gotten to the fun part yet. Okay, the fun part's to come. But outside that, I mean, we're pretty much good to go. Good?
All good.
All right, gentlemen. Well, good to see you guys. Get those SSRIs out of your system, and let's have a good week, huh?